Hi everyone, so welcome back to the channel. So let's continue with our Eon topic, citizen and the spinning wheel. So let's start with the last subtopic of this Eon aces, which is Gandhi tasked the poor with preventing the varna system from ossifying into one of the caste. Let's see what this subtopics hold for us. Let's start with the first basis of this topic. In the spirit of this view, Mahatma Gandhi often described himself as one who experiments with truth, satyagraha, non-violent, civil resistance, rest on the idea that all of us, even those with spiritual education, can be mistaken. Other people should confront us in those situations carefully and non-violently. So here Mahatma Gandhi is trying to say is that in the spirit of this view, Gandhi often described himself as one of the experiments with truth. So here Mahatma Gandhi called himself as a one of the experiment with truth. He's experimenting in truth, what the truth actually is. Satyagraha, non-violent civil resistance, rests on the idea that all of us, even those with spiritual education, can be mistaken. So here Mahatma Gandhi trying to say is that Satyagraha and non-violence movement that rest on because it's on our ideas. Even the people who have a spiritual education can be mistaken. So nobody is perfect. Nothing is perfect. That's indirectly Mahatma Gandhi tried to say as that. Even his main motto of the Varna system to educate the people about the spirituality. But it is not completely true that the people who are spiritually educated also the right person. Every time they are not right. They are right, but not every time. People can be mistaken. The other people should confront us in those situations carefully and non-violently. So here Mahatma Gandhi says that whenever you face people, when you in that kind of a situation when they are mistaken, you confront them, but non-violently. You make them understand that they are not right, but non-violently and carefully. So we can just summarize this whole passage that Mahatma Gandhi has an experiment with truths. So the satyagraha, non-violent civilian, we can deal with that situation with satyagraha, non-violent civilian residents, or non-violently and carefully. That's all for this message. Let's moving toward the next one. For Indians to have true Swaraj, they must have the education necessary not merely to understand the reasoning behind Gandhi's economic model, but to participate themselves in reforming that model based on their own understanding of truth. They must be able to think for themselves about whether all Indians should perform the manual craft. They must be able to develop view about which professions are necessary and which are unnecessary. Gandhi's desire to empower Indian citizens to rule themselves led him to allow India's citizen freedom to work in additional professions, provided they practice them out of love rather than greed. So here what Mahatma Gandhi trying to say is for Indians to have a true Swaraj, they must have the education necessary not merely to understand the reasoning behind Gandhi's economic model, but to participate themselves in reforming that model based on their own understanding of truth. So here Mahatma Gandhi says that for getting a true Swaraj for Indians, education play a very vital role. It is not just to understand the reasoning behind what Mahatma Gandhi economics model, but to let us participate in the reform. What it is, what is the beneficial for us, what is important for us, and what is actually the truth is. Who is saying the truth and who is manipulating us? Just like a Britishers manipulate us easily because we are not that much of educated. They must be able to think for themselves about whether all Indians should perform that manual craft. So, because of education, the people of India themselves think about that it is important to do a manual craft or not. It is not that Mahatma Gandhi says to do that we need to do. No. Because of education, we use our own knowledge, our own brain, what is right and what is wrong. They must be able to develop a view about which professions are necessary and which are unnecessary. So, because of educations, we are able to develop our own view about which profession we need to choose, which is necessary, and which one is not. Gandhi's desire to empower Indian citizens to rule themselves led him to allow Indian citizens freedom to work in additional professions provided they practice them out of love rather than greed. So, the main motto behind Mahatma Gandhi to promote education is that Indian citizens should know themselves that which profession they are interested in, and so they will pursue that profession not because of the greed but because of the love. So, what the title should given to this passage is in Mahatma Gandhi's point of view, what the importance of education for Indian citizens, and what important points we can pick from here. Participate themselves in reforming the model based on their own understanding of truth. Develop a view about which professions are necessary and which are unnecessary. Rule themselves led him to allow Indian citizens freedom to work in additional professions provided they practice them out of love rather than greed. So that's all for this passage. Let's moving toward the next one. That proposal came with the risk of its own. If one varna contains both those who depend exclusively on the traditional craft and those who perform additional professions, this could lead to hierarchy within it. This is especially likely if those who perform additional professions are able to derive additional income from those professions. At points, Gandhi suggests that those who earn additional income from additional professions could serve as trustees, retaining some control over the wealth they gain from their additional professions, provided that they use this wealth to benefit others. This would leave some economic and political inequalities intact. Over the time, it would lead the remnants of caste. So, here what Mahatma Gandhi trying to say is that proposal came with a risk of its own. That the proposal of choosing a profession of your own, which you love not because of the greed, is come with some risk. And what it is? Let's see. The one varna contain both those who depends exclusively on traditional craft and those who perform additional professions. This could lead to hierarchy within it. So, what's the risk it's contained? The one is the in Varna system, one who completely depends on the traditional craft and the persons who perform in additional professions, they could lead to hierarchy within themselves because a person who pursue an additional profession can earn more than the traditional crafts. This is especially likely if those who perform additional professions are able to derive additional income from those professions. So the person in Varna system, everyone should know uh, the knowledge or education of traditional craft. So that person is, it is mandatory for every citizen to perform a traditional craft. But the person who know the who have the knowledge about the additional profession, they can earn from their additional professions as well. At that point of time, the person who have a knowledge of traditional craft plus additional profession can perform is performing two professions, right? And he is earning more than the person who is completely solely dependent on the traditional profession. So Mahatma Gandhi says that now this create one problem. Now within that this Varna system, there it's create hierarchy. The persons who is earning more wealth and the person who is earning less wealth. At points, Gandhi suggested that those who earn additional income from additional profession could serve as trustees. So here Mahatma Gandhi come with one conclusion that those people who earn additional income, they can be a trustee or they should be a trustee. And why so? Because retaining some control over the wealth they gain from their additional profession, provided that they use this wealth to benefit others. So Mahatma Gandhi suggests that those who are earning extra, those persons should need to be a trustee. Because and what the trustee can do use those additional money and use it for the welfare of the others. This would leave some economic and political inequalities intact. Over time, it could lead to the remnants of the caste. So, because of this, it's create a balance between the inequalities in our Indian citizens. So, what the title should give into this species is the Varna come with its own risk. The risk associated with Varna. And let's see what important point we can take from here. We can pick from here. Huh. Those who depends exclusively on traditional craft and those who perform additional profession, this could lead to the hierarchy within it. And those who earn additional income from additional profession could serve as trustee, and this would leave some economic and political inequalities intact and lead to the remnants of the caste. So that's all for this species. Let's moving toward the next one. Gandhi ultimately tasked the poor with preventing the Varna system from ossifying into one of caste. To perform this role, they must acquire the advanced civic education necessary to engage in satyagraha, and that in turn is possible only insofar as they are able to earn a living through the craft. This was an enormous responsibility to place upon the shoulders of ordinary workers. The Varna system can resist lapsing into a system of caste only when it is possible for the workers to consistently become spiritually learned and to remain spiritually learned across time. For Gandhi, it is only when the poor gain knowledge that they become strong and learn how to free themselves. Nothing less will do because the Varna system is too fragile to maintain itself by lesser means. So, what here Mahatma Gandhi says that the Gandhi ultimately tasked the poor with preventing the Varna system from ossifying into one of caste. So, here Mahatma Gandhi uh, main task is to just introduce this Varna system so that there is no caste system exist. Everyone is doing the same work and everyone is earning the equal money. To perform this role, they must acquire the advanced civic education necessary to engage in satyagraha, and that is in turn is possible only insofar as they are able to earn a living through the craft. So Mahatma Gandhi's main motive is to uplift poorers of India. And why so? Because if they acquire they they are able to earn livings and crafts. This was an enormous responsibility to place upon the shoulder of ordinary workers. And this also created a responsibility on the shoulder of the ordinary workers. The Varna system can resist lapsing into a system of caste only when it is possible for the workers to consistently become learned to remain spiritually learned across the time. So through the Varna system, the caste system is removed because we just provide education to the workers, not just education, but spiritual education as well, which is with them across their lifetime. For Gandhi, it is only when the poor gain knowledge that they become strong and learn how to free themselves. And this achieves only when the poor people get the knowledge about that they are strong, they can become strong, and they can learn how to free themselves from any kind of a rule. Nothing less will do because the Varna system is too fragile to maintain itself by lesser means. So, because in Varna system is too fragile, we need to just work more hard on it, and we can maintain it through the very lesser means. So, what the title should give into this species is why Mahatma Gandhi's main focus to uplift poorer of India, and what lines we can pick from here. Uh, Starts the poor with preventing the Varna system from the ossifying one of caste, and they must acquire the advanced civic education necessary to engage in satyagraha, able to earn a living through the craft. Varna system can resist lapsing into a system of caste for the workers to consistently become spiritually learned and to remain spiritually learned across time. The poor gain knowledge that they become strong and learn how to free themselves. Varna system is too fragile to maintain itself by lesser means. So let's moving toward the next species. Those who view Gandhi merely as a critic of violence, hierarchical caste, and untouchability miss what it meant here by freedom and equality. This is about securing for every Indian the economic prerequisites for spiritual growth. For Gandhi, it is only in a world where everyone practices the craft and everyone can learn them at home from their parents that there will be a time enough for every person to develop to their own spiritual praxis. In such a system, there is clearly observance of hereditary occupation and therefore of varna. So here Mahatma Gandhi's main motto of all his rules and policies towards varna system. So let's see what it is. Those who view Gandhi merely as a critic of violence, hierarchical caste, and untouchability miss what it means here by freedom and equality. So here, author says that the people who are looking Mahatma Gandhi as a critics of violence, hierarchical caste, and untouchability, they missed what is the real means of freedom and equality. And why so? This is about securing for every citizen the economic prerequisites for spiritual growth. So Mahatma Gandhi's all this, we can say that policies and all these activities securing Indians from it's an economic prerequisites for spiritual growth. That's why Mahatma Gandhi is doing that activities. For Gandhi, it is only in the world where everyone practice the craft and everyone can learn them at home from their parents that there will be a time enough for every person to develop their own spiritual practices. So Mahatma Gandhi's main view is that by doing so, we are the only in the whole world who can practice the craft at home from their parents and have enough time to devote themselves in spiritual knowledge. In such a system, there is clearly observance of hereditary occupation and therefore of varna. So, because of that, this craft knowledge is transferred from generation to generations, which creates its hereditary occupations, and that's called a varna. So, what the main motto of Mahatma Gandhi because towards varna system, towards launching or towards introducing varna system to Indian citizens. And what the important point we can pick from here is, let's see, securing for every Indian to economic prerequisites of spiritual growth. It is in the world where everyone practice the craft and everyone can learn them at home from their parents, and there will be the time enough for every person to develop their own spiritual praxis. Hereditary occupation and therefore of Varna. So that's all for this passage. Let's moving toward the last passage of today's video. Gandhi failed to establish this system, and no alternative system has arisen to perform the same function. The poor are still compelled to trade away their time, the struggle for survival, while the rich waste the time they take from the poor. But the Gandhi tried to solve this problem, and many of us do not even try. So here author concluded the whole Eon topic by saying that Mahatma Gandhi failed in his mission to introduce through Varna system. But why it's so? Because still in today's era, poor are still compelled to trade away their time in the struggle for survival, while the rich waste the time they taken from the poor. He's saying that now is in today's era, poor are still struggles for their own survival, still you engaging in they keep on busy and engaging in struggling to for survival, while the rich waste those times those that which they are taken from the poorers. But we can appreciate Mahatma Gandhi. Why? Because even he tried. Nowadays nobody's trying anything. So that's all for this Eon topic. Hope you guys understand it and learn from it. See you again in the next video with new Eon topic. As of now, have a great day.